Happy day. This your bruh, True Jew, your Ak, True Jew, coming at you with a more recent development in the land of Babylon. Florida blocks high school advanced placement African American Studies class. Yes, you heard that right. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' administration has blocked a new advanced placement course on African American Studies from being taught in high schools, saying it violates state law and is historically inaccurate. The state education department rejected the program in a letter last week to the College Board, which oversees AP classes. Florida education officials did not specify exactly what content the state found objectionable, but said, quote, "As presented, the content of this course is inexplicably contrary to Florida law and significantly lacks educational value." In the future, the quote goes on to say, should College Board be willing to come back to the table with lawful, historically accurate content, the Education Department will always be willing to reopen the discussion, the letter continued. In a statement, the College Board said, like all new AP courses, AP African American Studies is undergoing a rigorous, multi-year pilot phase, collecting feedback from teachers, students, scholars, and policymakers. The process of piloting and revising course frameworks is a standard part of any new AP course, and frameworks often change significantly as a result, the statement read. The College Board website describes the course as interdisciplinary, touching on literature, arts, humanities, political science, geography, and science. The pilot program is debuting at 60 schools across the country before it expands to additional schools. The organization has been working on constructing the course for more than a decade, according to its website. DeSantis, a potential 2024 GOP presidential candidate, has opposed what he calls liberal ideologies in schools, including lessons around critical race theory, which examines systematic racism, and has been a frequent target of conservatives. Last year, the governor signed legislation dubbed the Stop Woke Act, that restricts certain race-based conversations and analysts in schools and businesses. The law bars instruction that says members of one race are inherently racist or should feel guilt for past actions committed by others of the same race, among other things. All right, I'm sure it does. Y'all bear with us on this one. More recently, the governor's budget office called on state colleges to submit spending information on programs related to diversity, equity, and inclusion and critical race theory, raising concerns of potential funding cuts around such initiatives. Y'all keep that funding cuts initiative in mind. Sharon Courtney, a high school teacher in Peekskill, New York, teaching the African American Studies course, said her students were shocked to learn Florida blocked the class. She described it as a factual African history course that also details what Africans experienced upon their arrival in North America. There's nothing objectionable. It's history that hasn't been traditionally taught in the United States in a K-12 setting, she said. But it's also history that, once known and understood, could change race relations and improve them. Now I'm sure all y'all want to know what your bruh True Jew's response to this is. Well, not allowing a subject to be taught in school, let alone a factual and historical subject, is a violation of the First Amendment freedom of speech. Advanced placement classes are for the students who can potentially make positive changes in society with the information they learn. Naturally, there will be a threat seen in this because AP students are usually the future movers and shakers, lawmakers, and policymakers within the society. This is another gross attempt at blocking the truth about so-called African Americans and teaching a curriculum which continues to perpetuate white supremacy and dominance. You see, those of us who are awake know clear and well that we aren't African Americans anyway. But of course, those in control couldn't allow the truth to be taught, because that would totally cause the generations that are currently being raised within their racist miseducation system to question how they got their financial and societal status and power in the first place. This is the exact definition of racism. when one group can literally control the information pertaining to a subject they deem to be inappropriate because it goes against the narrative they painted of themselves in an effort to remove any historical fact that makes them appear evil and wicked. Meanwhile, the group of people whom were greatly and negatively affected have to go with the so-called accepted narrative, even though it is the narrative that is actually packed with lies. This is why we don't get upset, however, because we know we are not so-called African Americans. We are Hebrew Israelites. And those of us who are doing anything about our people's true identity and awakening have long realized that our children will never learn the truth of anything while still involved in this wicked country's miseducation system. See, this is exactly why integration was one of the absolute worst decisions our people made while in this country. The absolute only way to hit them back is to remove your children from being taught by these evil people. They will lose state-mandated funding for every child who no longer participates in their system. They are literally ruled by evil, wickedness, and money. This is exactly why the governor's budget office called on state colleges to submit spending information on programs related to diversity, or so-called programs related to diversity, equity and inclusion, and critical race theory, so that they can control the narrative while also dispensing the funds to promote that narrative. You see what I'm saying? We have more than enough talented educators to teach our children the truth, while also teaching skills and trades that will give us some of our power back as a people. Furthermore, we have access to the greatest history pertaining to our people in existence, the Bible. Our issue is we'd rather be a part of our oppressor and opposition's system than to accept the fact that we are indeed the people of the book. As long as we refuse the truth of the scriptures and refuse who we really are, the enemy will continually be able to divide, conquer, and dominate over us, and sit back at their country clubs all throughout the nation, laughing at our demise. It is high time to establish our own school system and curriculum, which educates our people, taught by our people, for our people's true advancement. Haven't you had enough yet? Well, even if you haven't had enough, no worries. This wicked system is almost over with. In Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19, the scriptures tell us what the children of these nasty, vile, lying, hypocritical people will say. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The nations shall come unto you from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there was no profit. Yes, they've inherited lies, all right, and will pay the ultimate price for doing such. This your bruh True Jew tapping in with you the only way I know how. Raw, real, and uncut. Reminding y'all to stay blessed and stay vigilant. Most High Mama and Papa willing, I'll be back with another one, but until then, gone.